These are 100 career mode save ideas in FC24. The first team is Heidenheim, who got promoted to the Bundesliga for the first time in their club history last season, but are the favorites to get relegated this year. Of course, known for having Lionel Messi in the very early stages of his youth career, Newell's old boys have also had Diego Maradona as a player at the club. They have produced many top players and managers, but haven't won a league title since 2013. Spurs have never won the Premier League in their club history and haven't won a trophy for a while, whilst also selling their club top goalscorer last summer in Harry Kane. AS Monaco surprisingly won Ligue 1 in 2017 and had a historic run in the Champions League, losing to Juventus in the semi-finals. Leverkusen could have won the treble in 2002, but lost out on the Bundesliga title and lost in the DFB Pokal and Champions League final. That's why they got named Neverkusen by English media at the time. Racing Santander are a historic Spanish team and have played many seasons in the first tier, but currently play in the second tier. Union Saint-Gilloise are one of the most historic Belgian sides, as they have won the first division 11 times, but have not won it anymore since 1935. Boca Juniors are one of the biggest Argentinian football clubs and they have won the league 35 times. They are currently not even close to winning the league in real life though. Gladbach are a historic Bundesliga club, but have been going downhill for the past 4 seasons, with relegation being a real option this year. Arminia Bielefeld were in the Bundesliga just 2 seasons ago, but are currently fighting for relegation in the 3rd German division. Brighton almost went bankrupt in 1997 and were playing in the 4th English division, but are now one of the most exciting teams in the Premier League and also play in the Europa League for the first time in the club's history. Everton's last success was winning the FA Cup in 1995, but are currently trying to avoid relegation from the Premier League for the first time since 1954. Girona are part of the City Football Group and are doing very well this season in La Liga, currently sitting in 3rd place. Bordeaux are one of the most successful French teams, winning Ligue 1 6 times, but currently play in the 2nd division. Bodø Glimt shocked the world when they won 6-1 against Jose Mourinho's AS Roma in 2021. They also won the league that year for the 2nd year in a row. Portsmouth won the 1st division in back-to-back seasons over 70 years ago and currently play in their 3rd English tier. Atlanta United were founded in 2014. Their first MLS game was in 2017 and they won the MLS just 2 years later. They have been going downhill since. QPR won the 1st division in 1976 but haven't been in the Premier League since 2015 and are struggling in the Championship right now. Club Brugge are one of the best clubs in Belgium and are the only Belgian club to have played in the Champions League final so far, losing to Liverpool in 1978. Ever since winning the Premier League in 1995, Blackburn have been in a big roller coaster. They got relegated 4 seasons after their title win, eventually spent 11 seasons in the top flight again before finding themselves in the 3rd tier a few years later. Grasshopper hold the record for most titles in Switzerland with 27. They haven't won one since 2003 though. Ajax were seconds away from a Champions League final in 2019, but are currently struggling a lot and they sit in 15th place in the Eredivisie. Preston was a founding member of the EFL in 1888 and have won the 1st division in the next 2 seasons. They have also won the FA Cup twice, but currently play in the Championship. Paris FC is the 2nd biggest football team from Paris, but last played in Ligue 1 over 50 years ago. The Kingdom of Bahrain also invested in the club in 2020. Hamburger SV is one of the biggest German football teams, but have been stuck in the 2nd division since 2019, unable to get promoted to the Bundesliga again. Bolton was one of the founding members of the EFL in 1888 and were a good team in the Premier League, but currently play in League 1. Whilst Melbourne City is one of the better teams in the Australian League, they have only won the league title once in their club history. PSV represents one of the 8 stars in the Champions League logo and won it in 1988, but haven't won a European competition since. Nuremberg have won the 1st German division 9 times, but haven't won a league title since 1968 and are currently in the 2nd Bundesliga. Manchester-based Salford City are owned by former Man United players Nicky Butt, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes and Gary and Phil Neville and currently play in League 2. Athletic Club are one of the most unique teams in the world, as they only sign and use players who are from the Basque region in Spain. Marseille also represent one of the 8 stars on the Champions League logo and are the only French club to have won it so far. They haven't won a trophy since 2012 though. Chelsea have spent a lot of money in the last 2 seasons and are a complete mess in real life. When you think of AS Roma, you think of Francesco Totti. The club has never found a real replacement who could live up to Totti's potential, and the last league title was won in 2001. Royal Antwerp won the Belgian league in an unforgettable way last season and are in the Champions League for the first time ever this season. Leicester City surprisingly won the Premier League in 2016. They currently play in the Championship. Kaiserslautern won back-to-back league titles as they started off in the 2nd division and immediately managed to win the Bundesliga in the 1st season since getting promoted. Anderlecht are known for producing the likes of Romelu Lukaku and Yuri Tielemans, but haven't won the Belgian league since 2017. They still hold the record for most league titles with 34. With Steven Gerrard being in career mode, Al Ettifaq is a good outside contender to fight for the Saudi Saudi League title with, especially with the likes of Wijnaldum, Henderson and Gray. Manchester United won the treble in 1999, winning the Premier League, FA Cup and the Champions League in one season, and they are currently a mess in real life too. Wolfsburg won the Bundesliga in 2009 with iconic players like Grafit and Edin Dzeko. They haven't won a trophy since 2015 though. Real Oviedo have never finished higher than third in La Liga and now have Santi Cazorla back at the club. They now play in the second division. Rakov have seen a meteoric rise the last few seasons, winning the third division in 2017, the second division in 2019 and finishing second in back-to-back seasons in the first division before winning the Ekstraklasa title for the first time in the club's history last season. Derby County won the English first division twice in the 1970s but haven't been in the Premier League since 2008 and currently play in League One. With Cristiano Ronaldo, Sadio Mane and Anderson Talisca, Al Nassr is on a search for the 10th league title in the club's history. Real Valladolid are owned by Brazilian football legend Ronaldo and currently play in the second Spanish division. Benfica have not won the Champions League since their back-to-back victories in the 1960s, whilst having produced plenty of world-class stars through their youth academy. The current manager of Adana Demirspor is Patrick Kluivert, who unfortunately doesn't have his scanned game face in career mode, and they also have the likes of Nani, Mario Balotelli and Mbaye Niang at the club. Başakşehir played in the Turkish Super League for the first time in 2008 and managed to win the league title in 2020, but have not managed to finish in the top 3 again since. Milan has won the Champions League 7 times, which is a joint record with Real Madrid and FC Barcelona, but haven't won it since 2007. Former footballer Gerard Piqué is the owner of FC Andorra, and the club is based in Andorra and not actually in Spain, but they do play in the second Spanish division. Al Ittihad are one of the most successful clubs in Saudi Arabia and signed Karim Benzema, Fabinho and N'Golo Kante this summer. Barcelona is trying to get back on top of the footballing world since Lionel Messi left the club. Arsenal have never won the Champions League and were close to winning the Premier League again for the first time in 20 years last season. Rapid Wien is Austria's record title holder, winning it 32 times, but face a tough battle every season against RB Salzburg. Palermo have produced the likes of Paulo Dybala, Edinson Cavani and Javier Pastore, but are currently in the Serie B. Clermont Foot got promoted to Ligue 1 last year for the first time and are known for signing free agents, having only ever spent a transfer fee on 6 players. FCSB or Steaua Bucharest have won the most trophies in Romania with 26 league titles and 24 domestic cups. They of course also won the Champions League in 1986. Notts County are the oldest professional football club in the world and are back in League 2 but have never managed to win the first English division. Parma have had the likes of Gianluigi Buffon, Hernan Crespo and Fabio Cannavaro at the club but are currently in the Serie B. West Ham are an iconic Premier League team but have never finished higher than 3rd in the league. They did win their first European title last season by winning the Conference League. Manchester City won the treble last season, winning the Champions League for the first time in the club's history, but they didn't manage to win the quadruple. Schalke were one of the best teams in Germany a decade ago but have struggled in the last few years, currently playing in the second division. Lyon are one of the biggest clubs in France and have won Ligue 1 7 times in a row just 2 decades ago, and they currently sit in last place in Ligue 1. Celtic are the only European football club to ever win a quadruple, including the league title, Scottish Cup, Scottish League Cup and Champions League. Göteborg are the only club in the Nordic countries to have won one of the main UEFA competitions, winning the UEFA Cup twice. Malmö's best performance in Europe was in 1979 when they reached the final of the Champions League but lost to Nottingham Forest, and they are also known for producing Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Dortmund have been the biggest competitor to Bayern Munich for the last decade, but their last Bundesliga title was won over 10 years ago. Nottingham Forest have won the Champions League twice in their club history and currently play in the Premier League. Southampton are known for producing some world-class players including Gareth Bale, Luke Shaw, James Ward-Prowse and Matthew Le Tissier, but got relegated from the Premier League last season. Against all odds, Porto won the Champions League in 2004 with Jose Mourinho as the manager. Red Bull Salzburg are one of the football teams owned by Red Bull and have dominated the Austrian league over the past decade, but they have also produced the likes of Sadio Mane, Erling Haaland and Dominik Szoboszlai. Beşiktaş is one of the big 3 clubs in Turkey and one of the most successful teams in the country, but have failed to stand out in Europe as they have never reached a semi-final of a European competition. Whilst Oscar has played for Shanghai Port for quite a few years, the club has only won a league title in 2018. Newcastle United of course had a takeover in 2021 and have done very well since, and even play in the Champions League for the first time in 20 years again this season. Forest Green Rovers became the first vegan football club in the world in 2015 and currently play in League 2. Suwon Blue Wings have won the South Korean League 4 times but are currently one of the lower rated teams in the league. Almere City got promoted to the Eredivisie for the first time in the club's history last season and are the youngest professional football club to achieve this. Valencia have had the likes of David Silva and David Villa at the club and have won La Liga 6 times in their club history but haven't won it since 2004. River Plate hold the record for most Argentinian league titles won with 38. They have only won the Copa Libertadores 4 times and have a big rivalry with Boca Juniors. Dinamo Bucharest got promoted from the second division last season and are one of the biggest clubs in Romania, having won the league 18 times, but also finishing second 20 times. Union Berlin qualified for the Champions League for the first time in the club's history and have seen an incredible rise since getting promoted to the Bundesliga in 2019. Copenhagen are the only Danish club to have reached the knockout stage of the Champions League, but have never managed to win any European trophy. Fenerbahce are one of the biggest football clubs in Turkey, but haven't won a league title since 2014 and finished in second place 5 times since. Basel have won the Swiss league 20 times, but are still far off holding the record for winning the most league titles, as Grasshopper have 27 titles. Al Ahly got promoted from the second division last season and they are a good contender to win the league in the first year as well, especially with the likes of Riyad Mahrez, Roberto Firmino and Alain Saint-Maximin. St. Pauli are the fierce rivals of Hamburger SV, but have been stuck in the second division since 2011. UCD Dublin are the lowest rated team in FC24 and only have players who are a student at the University of Dublin. Welsh football club Wrexham got promoted to League 2 for the first time in the club's history last season and famously have the owners Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney. Noordjylland are owned by the Right to Dream Academy Group and have produced a lot of Ghanaian talent since the takeover, including Mohamed Kudus. FC Twente won the Eredivisie in 2010 but got relegated due to financial difficulties in 2019. They are currently back in the Eredivisie but haven't won a trophy in 12 years. Legia Warsaw is the most successful Polish football club ever, winning the league 15 times and the Polish Cup 20 times. They once reached the semi-finals of the Champions League in 1970. Luton Town were still in the 4th division a decade ago but got promoted to the Premier League last season and are the smallest club to ever reach the top division in England. Montpellier have produced the likes of Laurent Blanc and have also had Eric Cantona, Roger Milla, Carlos Valderrama and Olivier Giroud at the club. The first and last Ligue 1 title was won in 2012 with Olivier Giroud. 1860 München is one of the founding members of the Bundesliga and won the league in 1966, but have seen a real fall from grace and currently play in the Tweede Liga. Wellington Phoenix are the only professional football club from New Zealand and they compete in the Australian A-League. They are currently the worst ranked team in the game from the A-League. Saint-Etienne have won the French league title 10 times but have seen a downfall and currently play in the second tier. Rangers hold the record for winning the most Scottish league titles but have never managed to win the Champions League. Galatasaray is the most decorated football club in Turkey, winning the league 23 times, the cup 18 times and the Super Cup 16 times. They won the Europa League in 2000 but have only reached the semi-finals of the Champions League once in 1989. Diego Simeone has been a manager of Atletico Madrid since 2011 but has only won La Liga twice as they face a constant title race against Real Madrid and Barcelona. Inter Miami signed Lionel Messi, Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets this summer and are hoping to win the MLS before one of them retires. Lech Poznan has won the Polish Ekstraklasa 8 times and have most famously produced Robert Lewandowski. They have never reached the group stages of the Champions League though. Antonio Di Natale is Udinese's biggest legend and played almost 400 matches for the club. Udinese have struggled to find a similar icon since and have not won a Serie A title since 1979. Burnley have seen a huge transition since Vincent Kompany is the manager at the club, buying younger, exciting talents. They got promoted from the Championship to the Premier League last season too. Hertha Berlin was the biggest club from the Berlin capital but have since seen Union Berlin outperforming them, was currently playing in the second division as well. Subscribe to my channel to not miss any other Queermood tips and I'll see you at the next video.